So, just to give you a little bit of background on Ciklum, we've been going for about 9 years. We're a software development house out of Ukraine. So we've got about 1,200 developers at the moment. We have two core models, one's own team, which is your own dedicated resource, and one's project office, where we house developers and we work with you on a kind of traditional outsourcing. I'm not really here to talk about that in this presentation, but feel free to come talk to me afterwards if you'd like to, or I've got my colleague Gary here as well. So you have to bear with me a little bit. This presentation was put together by someone else, so I'm kind of going through it. So in the especially last year, everything's going mobile now. Everybody thinks they need an app or knows they need an app. Everyone's going mobile. So whereas late 90s, early 2000s was all about going on web, now it's all going on mobile. You guys know that even better than I do. Mobile's getting everywhere now. Everyone's getting smartphones, especially in the Western Hemisphere. So it's getting everywhere through education. There's more and more ideas going out there. That's what you guys are doing, most of you I imagine. Come up with these ideas for great apps, and it's going forward. And of course there's a major trend at the moment, it's battle of platforms. It's actually completely different depending on what market you're in. So in the States we're finding a lot of our American clients trial things in Android first and then go on to iPhone. In the UK people are going iOS first and then going onto Android. Very smaller but consistent in certain industries. So there's that whole kind of debate going on around that as well. And then of course cross-platform SDKs. It's a really hot topic at the moment. We use quite a few. Here's a few that we use. We're constantly looking at others. If we like them, we use them. If we don't like them, we don't. And of course we liaise with our clients for that as well, because they might know something we don't know as well. They might not want us to use it. So. And then of course you've got the mobile web as well. HTML5 isn't in the past anymore, isn't in development, it's kind of here. It's an interesting debate. We put on a presentation not long ago where we had one of our clients come in and say they only want to work on HTML5, they only want to do non-native apps, and then we had literally 2 minutes later another one of our clients come up and say we only want to work in native apps. There's advantages, disadvantages to both. We have experience in both. It's a great debate going on. But all that stuff is kind of going on in periphery. In terms of this is kind of an apps event, so we thought we'd go through some of the big features of apps which are being really popular in the last year and going forward as well. So the first one is kind of geolocation. These two of our products that we did, Yale.com, I'm sure many of you might have actually used that one. Yale, this app, there was a lot of difficulty going around it because obviously a huge directory and you've got literally tens of thousands of links into maps. So that was a difficult one to do, but we've got that and we get directions to things. Humber's a little bit different. It doesn't use Google Maps, so we weren't just pulling straight through from Google Maps. It's actually a South African company, and it's for tourists going over to South Africa. You can find friends as you're travelling around. We've also done another project which isn't there, which is called Heat Maps. This ties into something I'm going to come into a little bit later on when they actually goes a step further. So it brings in social networking, which is, I would have it as the second one, but I don't think it is the second one. But there we go. So social networking. So, and in this app, what you can do is actually, not in this one, I'm talking about, you actually have your social network on here, so not only are you looking at the bars and geolocation stuff that way, you also see where your friends are, how many of them are there, and they rate it green, amber, red, how good it is there as well. So if you see a lot of green, you might want to go to that bar. If it's red, and you've got 5 of your friends there, it's red, then you think, oh, I'm not going to go there because they're not having a good time. This is actually a project that we did for an agency for Gazia. This one's in France, where you can actually directly comment on the articles and that links into your Facebook page. So just going back, one more is push notifications. I was speaking to a few of you about this just a minute ago, and this is really big. I think a lot of media agencies want to use it, advertising agencies want to use it, where your phone pushes things straight to you. It does burn out the battery, there are side effects to it. It's one of the big things going in there. Advertising drives a lot of this market. So. And we've got video content. This is actually something that we did for Canal+, which is France's biggest TV channel. So this is live streaming across the mobile web. So there's a lot of technical stuff. I'm not technical minded, so I won't go into that. But video streaming scene, there's a lot of things. Speaking to people who want to do more video streaming in social networking on the mobile phone as well. So it's another huge area of growth. Salary reasons. I mean, this is, it's not groundbreaking anymore, but it's certainly in terms of games, it's a huge thing. And time maps, documents, stuff like that. So it's a huge thing. And there's actually a sixth one, which I asked people on this presentation, but it wasn't put on there. It's augmented reality. It's a huge area of growth. It's an area of strength for us as well. We have Leia, who's one of the industry leaders in that, actually have a full-time development team with us. We're working on some nice projects, hopefully starting on a couple of nice projects. But it's augmented reality, for those of you who don't, I'm sure you all know, but it's when you're changing what is actually around you. So for that, I mean, I have one project at the moment where you can race cars. So as you're walking along the road, you put your phone out, and you can race cars there, you can drive cars through people's legs or things like that. So it's an interesting, fun game. We have a game where, as you're walking along, you get the phone up, there's you're a monkey and bananas all over the place, and you have to jump up and grab bananas. It's an interesting thing. We're talking to, if anyone's interested in speaking to him, Pete is at the back there, a company called Vouch AR, which is a voucher-based system where you show your phone the road and you can then click onto whatever vouchers. So there's another big area of growth, which unfortunately I don't have a slide. So they're the kind of 6 areas that we're finding. We're getting a lot of projects, and a lot of teams, and a lot of our clients are bearing down. So they seem to be the hottest things at the moment. And just in case anyone was unsure whether they wanted to pursue apps, there's some figures that I'm not actually sure where these report was, so I didn't put it on. But over 10 billion downloads now. It's just crazy. So the market's definitely there, it's maturing, and they're the big themes.
Thank you. We'll open the floor for Q&A. Anyone?
Do you have any figures for how many of those are free app downloads, how many of them are sort of which price points?
Sure, I don't have it on me now. I was really sorry that still, particularly on the Android market, still something like 80%, 80-90% is actually free downloads at the moment. iPhones, because it's actually got that captive infrastructure there, so you can actually charge money a bit better, people trust that. So that's coming down. It's more, last figure I saw was about 64% is free. But, I think definitely once Android gets a proper market together and that's trusted and it's used, then we'll see more pay for apps on Android.
Do you only use cross-control tools that use web technologies, or do you actually do native coding as well?
We do a lot of native coding. Sometimes it speeds up the process. It does depend on the client. Sometimes clients request that we use them. They get at development times, they have me speed this up. And we can say, well, okay, we're not doing necessarily native, we can use tools to speed up that process. And we explain the pros and cons of doing it.
Why the Ukraine?
Okay, so the Ukraine was kind of the intellectual hotbed of the USSR. So they have a great university structure. The government for the past 8 to 10 years has been really pushing it. So if you work in the IT industry in Ukraine, you pay a flat rate, $82 US dollars a month tax, and that's what you pay, doesn't matter what you're earning. So that's really encouraging. They're producing about 30,000 developers each year for the university systems, and actually they start formal education by the age of 12. In the UK, you don't even actually start formal education until 14, 16, so they start a little bit earlier as well. So we find this a great resource. It's also, we are a Danish-owned company, so you're dealing with an EU company. Ukraine's not really, a lot of people when they're coming back from the India, Pakistani kind of thing, with a 16-hour lead time and the rest of it, they came back over to kind of European bases. They went to Romania, Hungary, those places now have joined the EU, and it's very easy for those developers to come over to the UK and earn 10 times the amount. Ukraine is a lot harder for them to do that. So that's Ukraine.
Alex?
What do you see today as some of the most effective mobile payment methods for someone running a mobile commerce app?
Gary, do you want to answer?
Yeah.
there's a wide variety of them out there, and it really is horses for courses. From some of the gambling over the William Hills and the Betsons of this world through to some e-commerce sites or some shopping sites. I wouldn't like to. There is no favourite out there. It really is whoever's designing the application really needs to do a lot of homework and see what works for them.
Take a last question, Colin.
What's the sort of percentages on the development on the different platforms now? What would you expect them to be in 2012?
So, as I said, it does depend on the market. So, when I speak to people in America, it is predominantly on Android first.
Yeah.
But in UK, iPhone is iOS development is the dominant. So, we'll probably do about 60% on that. Probably about 35 on Android. Although Android is the one that's growing the most in our experience. So.
It would be fair to say that iOS 12 months ago just was going through the roof, and in the last 6 to 9 months, the iOS is plateaued. It's still doing a lot of work. So anyone that's creating an iOS product in parallel developing Android products as well, or going to HTML5 because of any smartphone before